Welcome to Naked Notes Podcast 2.0. I'm your host, Jasmine Willois.
And I'm Natosha Navarro. How is everyone doing? Can you guys believe that we're already over halfway through our podcast this season?
So with that in mind, we decided to show you our faces. We're going to pop in and be like, yes, this is us, not the robots.
Hey guys. Yeah, it's really been going by fast, and we still have some very content-packed episodes for you, including today, which is where we're going to be discussing how to not only create additional JV opportunities, things that we always tell you guys, how to do that with someone who has an IRA, but also how you can benefit from investing in notes with an IRA.
As you know, we have plenty of sponsors in this field, and we do that strategically. So if you're picking up what we're putting down, is definitely associate yourself with as many of these people as possible. One of our favorite people today is coming from the Southern Corridor, so we can't wait to introduce her. In the meantime, can't wait to tell you what we've been up to. The NAPNATION is growing vigorously, and we are on spring break over here for myself.
Oh, fun. Are you guys going to do anything fun?
Yeah, so we are already gone segwaying down the coast of San Diego, which is very awesome. Just if you haven't done that, do it. It's kind of safe. Kind of safe.
Kind of safe.
Kind of.
Is segways those things that you like stand on?
Yeah, those cops roll around.
Oh, yeah. Like the mall cops are like.
Yeah. It's kind of safe till I get on it, and then I found all these new tricks I want to pull. So don't try any wheelies on those things.
Wow.
But also my son was nice enough to play some baseball with me in the front yard. So definitely love enjoying our hometown as much as possible. After that, we are headed off to Lake Las Vegas. Now, for those of you out there as shocked as me, there's an actual lake in Las Vegas that is not in a casino or man-made. So anyway.
Really? I was thinking, what's that huge lake as you're driving in? But no, that's not it.
In a real live lake.
Wow.
So, yes, we'll post some photos so you know, but just in case you're wondering, is there anything else to do in Vegas besides gamble? I'm here to tell you.
Can you go like, what's that? The jet skiing or whatever it is?
Oh my God, they have the craziest stuff. So they have the one where you like float up like you're a martial artist.
Ooh, I always wanted to do that.
So I'm so excited about that because my son, he tells me he doesn't want to do it, and I'm like, oh, you're doing it.
Oh, you're doing it. I mean, that's the coolest. What kid does not want to have a jetpack?
Mine. He likes to keep his feet on the ground. And I said, I can hear you on that, my friend, but there's water. We're going to try it together. But that's me looking for as much adventure as I can while I still have it in me. And how about yourself?
That's pretty cool. Well, for me, just mom lifing it up. We've been taking my son to swim lessons every week, and I swear he's not progressing at all, but still, we're still going. I know he's only a little over a year old. And on a big announcement front, we are actually expecting baby number 2 due in October. So pretty excited about that.
That's my son's birthday month.
I know. It's very close. It's actually October 9th is our due date.
You'll be very lucky to get the calm soul like this.
But our anniversary is October 6th. So selfishly, I'm like, can you please not come on our anniversary? But whatever. Kids, I know once you have kids, your dates don't matter anymore. But no, we're very excited. We of course, wanted 2 babies. And so we feel very blessed that we were able to do that so close in age to them. And yeah, so that's the big news for me.
Nothing bigger than that. We love the children here as we are getting ready to launch our teen nap next year, as well as all the work that we do with people of multiple ages. So it's never too late to get her started and noted, him or her, wherever you decide, whatever happens. But it's never too late.
And maybe our guest today might even be able to talk about like, if you're at certain ages, what type of accounts you can get for your kids. So, but before we jump into today's topic, here is a brief message from this season's sponsor, the Note Assistance Program.
Are you ready to build your legacy and work for yourself? Welcome to the NAP. The Note Assistance Program is here to help you build your empire with mortgage note investing. Receive monthly inventory in your inbox and get access to top-notch online training to participate in trusted transactions with vetted sellers and buyers. Join their community by visiting their website at www.noteassistanceprogram.com and register for one of their nationwide note labs or online trainings today.
We're excited to be the sponsor of this season. Next season, we're hoping to have someone like our sponsor, like our guest today here. So let's get into introducing who we have today. I'm so excited to bring this woman to the table because, first of all, she's from the Bahamas. So if there's nothing else to talk about, I want to tell you that's all we have to talk about. That's what we have in common. That's why I was drawn to her in the beginning. And that's why she's my friend and I'm claiming her right now. So whenever you go back home, let me know and we can do that family trip together. But without further ado, I have a fellow MBA that I'd love to introduce you here. When I met this woman, just struck by her intellect as well as her caring ability to help people get across the board and reach their dreams. So I want to introduce you to Reneika, who works for Advanta IRA. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you, Natosha. It's an absolute pleasure to have Advanta IRA on the Make It Notes podcast. So I'm happy to be here. And Natosha, congratulations on your.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I always like to ask any of our guests, especially if I hadn't met them personally, but how did you meet Jasmine? Because that's always a story.
So I had the opportunity to meet Jasmine here in Atlanta at a women's real estate investment meeting that my friend and realtor Lorraine Beta was hosting at the time. And Jasmine was the actual featured speaker. So of course, she knocked it out the park. Her energy was just so vibrant. It resonated with the audience, myself included. And then of course, we can't forget her pink hat. It was just unforgettable. She did a great job presenting her information. So that's how I really got introduced to NAPNATION and, your national brand. And it was just, great synergies from the very beginning.
I'd have to say the same. One of the greatest things is that meeting was really electric. I didn't know what to expect from it. It's one of the smaller groups I went to. But since then, we've worked with numerous people from that group and had tremendous amount of success with them. Hope to have some here on the member spotlight. And yes, of course, shout out to Lorraine Beto out there. She is doing great things. We're actually giving away one of her books. If you give us a 5-star review, let us know. We'll give you her book. She has a great book called Flip the Switch, in which she's helping realtors take advantage of the very, very industry that they're in, and they usually do not have the opportunity to. So that's the mortgage note space, flipping homes and all that good stuff. But yes, I have to say, meeting you was tremendous. We got along right away. And we also have gotten a few members to sign up with you. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I've helped quite a few. I really like when, I'm talking to your members. They're really confident in terms of their investment strategy, of how they have this clear roadmap of how they're going to build out their retirement wealth. So it's just been a great relationship.
And you are in the southern area, right? I want to say Georgia. That's where you actually are located, correct?
Yes. So Advanta IRA, our headquarters is in Largo, Florida, which is Tampa Bay, but we have an office in Atlanta, which is where I'm based. But I do work with clients nationwide. Again, I've worked with some of your clients in New York or California. So it's been
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think to myself that I always want to bring people that may be regionally close to my members. So that was one of the benefits of having you in Atlanta, so people can sit down with you, go to lunch with you, and further expand upon their dreams. But as you said, you are open season for anywhere. Jersey, yes. New York, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of your clients here in Atlanta, she's a medical doctor. I've worked really closely with her to get her account open and funded. And she just, she talks very highly of, the note assistance program. So.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome. You know what I love? I mean, of course, this note industry is for everyone, men and women, but I do love hearing all of the support that the women have when we're talking about Lorraine and yourself, and being able to not only help each other like rise up to the next level, but being very supportive of each other's individual endeavors. So that's really amazing. Jasmine did tell us a little bit about you, but if you wouldn't mind telling our listeners a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Atlanta, but like Jasmine mentioned, I'm from the Bahamas. So I'm from where you vacation at. I went to college in the Midwest. After graduating, I decided to move to Atlanta. I've been here ever since. It's a great city. It's been good to me.
Where in the Midwest, if you don't mind me asking?
St. Louis, St. Charles, Missouri.
All right. We've got a lot of notes.
Yeah, we invest so much in St. Louis. That's crazy.
It's a really good area. I enjoyed my time there. But I moved here, been here ever since, been in the financial service sales for about 10, 15 years. Just love what I do. Anything relating to business, especially, alternative investments, anything with the latest trends with, how to build or grow wealth is pretty much my forte.
So let me ask you, when you went to college, what did you major in? And was it like a clear path that you were going to get into some sort of the retirement field, or what were you thinking when you were young? Because it's always interesting what happens.
No, it's completely different. Everybody that knows me, like growing up, they thought I'd been like a sports analyst because I'm a huge sports fanatic.
Okay.
And I knew I wasn't going to be a sports commentator or anything like that, just because I'm really biased to my favorite players. I'm like, we would be talking about, I don't know, hockey, and I'll bring up Michael Jordan. No, we'd be talking about rowing, I'll bring up Tom Brady. Like, I just knew I couldn't, I would just be too biased. But I went to college. I was fortunate because, Lindenwood allowed you to work and go to school. And so I took advantage of that, got, multiple degrees, but in communications, corporate communications. But, most people I know, like, unless you go into be like an attorney or, some, doctor, most people are in different fields than what they studied. So
yeah,
that's the same thing with me, but I love what I do, just life experience. And that's one of the things too I love about NAPNATION in terms of your practitioners and what you do. Like, okay, yes, it's, great wealth of knowledge in terms of that, but actually practitioners doing deals every day, and just life experience in general is what I've kind of leaned on.
Yeah, that's one of the main things with this podcast, right? We're here telling you all of our successes, our tribulations, and actually even sharing our wonderful resources like yourself. So you really can't go wrong listening to this podcast. But of course, I too am biased.
Yeah, just a little. So tell us a little bit more about Advanta, how you got started there, and then just, what the company has to offer in general for investors.
Yeah, what separates you guys, set you apart?
Okay, so Advanta, we are one of the nation's leading self-directed IRA administrators. We work very closely with, clients and individual investment providers that are looking to use retirement accounts like, traditional and Roth IRAs, SEP, simples, and solo 401ks, even HSAs for, medical related expenses, or ESAs for educational savings accounts for your kids. So just using retirement accounts to invest in alternatives, anything from notes and mortgages or other real estate related assets. Our focus here at Advanta is more so quality, that concierge style service, so quality of service, and that's how we really set ourselves apart. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. But just giving our clients the best service. That's something I experienced too as a client, and I'll share how I got started and my experience with Advanta. But our focus is, again, just giving you great educational content where we have guest speakers and experts. Even, Jasmine mentioned that she actually did one of our webinars. We have a lot of resources out there for our clients to kind of help them make informed decisions about what self-directing is and how they can kind of utilize it. Obviously, we kind of collaborate with, investment providers in terms of doing customized work for them, materials in terms of, promoting self-directing, but just, being there with you every step of the way as you kind of get familiar with, or you're looking to, even if it's, something a little bit more expansive with when it comes to self-directing, like, doing a syndication project or, buying a portfolio of notes. So that's our main.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite product that you love to sit down and talk to people about? I mean, obviously you have an array of things, like you said, the educational savings accounts and the retirement accounts and HSAs. Is there a favorite product that you love to talk to people about?
Roth IRAs. I personally have a Roth IRA with advantages, the advantages that comes with it in terms of, you can start out with, whatever you're comfortable with, but it's, after tax dollars, but you have the ability to grow it over time. And when you take those funds out at, retirement age, you pay no more taxes on it as long as you've had it for, 5 years. And let's just say you started an account with, $6,000, which is the contribution limit. Also, too, that deadline is fast approaching. So if you have not yet made your 2021 contribution, you got to get it in.
Get it done.
Yeah. So if you start out with $6,000 in a Roth IRA and, you just, do partial notes or, JV with someone just lending that money out, and, you turn that money over time. And let's just say you turn that $6,000 into, $100,000 or $500,000 by the time you retire, and you take that money out, you pay no taxes. That's the ultimate win.
Love it.
And so you can actually use Roth IRAs to invest in the alternative, or does it have to get self-directed?
No, so the term self-directed just means that you choose what is it that you want to invest in, and Naked Notes or NAPNATION, it's obviously notes and mortgages, but the term is actually just you decide what you want to invest in. But the account types is the ones that you're already familiar with, the traditional IRAs, the Roth IRAs are for individuals, and of course for business owners, or if you have like a side job or something like that. A lot of real estate investors like the SEP simples and solo 401ks.
So, and I have a quick question. This is actually a personal, selfish question, but for the educational retirement accounts or the accounts for education, how old, does it matter how old your kid is? One, and two, can you also invest in any type of asset class with those?
Yeah, so the child does have to be born. It's for educational.
Okay. Little detail.
Yeah, no, that was something that came up recently in terms of someone had inquired about, hey, can I do it for a child that's not yet here? So you do want to make sure the child is born, like you have an older child. You can certainly cover anything related to educational expenses. You can invest in a long list of things. You can lend money out. You can I want to focus on notes and mortgages, but literally the IRS provides you a universal list of things that you can do. The only two things the IRS say that you cannot invest in is life insurance and collectibles. So with ESA accounts, educational savings account, you can put in $2,000 per year per child. So you can take that $2,000 out and lend it to someone who's going to buy a note, or you can invest in precious metals. I did a webinar with my colleague on that just yesterday. So literally the sky's the limit. You get to be as creative as you want to and need to with any account. I tell clients, it doesn't matter how much you start with. It's whether it's $100 or $1 million is your money. You have to be proactive in terms of investing.
I love that. You must come across so many investment opportunities just because of the nature of your product. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you invest as well? I have to imagine that you do. How do you say no to all these things?
Yes and yes. So I've been with Advanta going on 3 years now as a business development professional, but prior to joining, I'm also a client of Advanta IRA. So self-directing is something that I actively do, something I'm very passionate about. Actually, my very first investment was actually a note on a property that's about 35 minutes from my office. So that was the very first investment I did in my Roth IRA.
How'd that go? Was it successful? You still own it? Tell us.
No, it was just for I think for a year or so, but I enjoyed the returns that I got during that time. Since that time, I've since diversified into other holdings like precious metals. Again, I did that webinar yesterday. I've invested in a private company here, like just things that I kind of resonate with me. Obviously, I'm doing my due diligence, but I love the alternative investment space. I love that I get a blank canvas to control what is it that works best for me. And that's not me saying anything about the traditional markets. I say it's an additional tool. Like, you can be in the stock market, but also too, yes, you want to buy, open up an IRA to be able to buy notes because, again, you get those monthly mortgage payments coming in. But worst case scenario, let's just say the person stopped paying. Well, because it's secured by a tangible asset, you have that property, you can do multiple things with it. So it really gives you more options compared to the traditional stocks and bonds.
Absolutely. Now, can you tell us, like, for somebody who's listening right now who doesn't have any type of retirement account, or even someone who does, but they're not really happy with their current custodian or company, what would be the process for someone setting up an account with you?
Okay, so the process with us is pretty straightforward. Again, with Advanta, we really look to kind of streamline, keep everything simple. First and foremost, you would open up your account, fill out an application via DocuSign. We'll be there to walk you through it, myself or one of my colleagues. Again, with us, we provide our clients a dedicated account manager. So once they do have an account with us, they will have a direct point of contact, and that kind of help ease. A lot of times when you call into a company, you may get a different person every time. 100%. Well, with us, unless someone's out of office and we're filling in for each other, but typically you have an assigned person where if you want to make an investment, you know exactly who to reach out to. So it really builds that relationship, that rapport, and give you that support that you need. But step one is filling out the application to get your account open. Step two is funding your account. And you have a couple ways you can fund your account. So in this case, if you're just starting brand new, meaning, hey, I don't have an IRA or full former employer plan, you can just, make an annual contribution, cash contribution. So as long as you've earned income, the IRS allow you to make an annual contribution, and that contribution limit. So if you're under the age of 50, you can put in $6,000. If you're over the age of 50, you have an additional $1,000, so you can put in $7,000 a year. For 2021, again, the deadline is coming up. So let's just say someone wanted to, make a contribution for last year. They would open up their account. We open it up within 24 to 48 hours, and they can make their contribution for last year. And then
I know this kind of silly, but there's no minimum.
No, so there's no minimum requirement. Obviously, you want to. Our fees are nominal. Well, it's not the highest in the industry, but also not the lowest. Again, our focus is quality, but there's no minimum requirement. If you wanted to open up your account with, $1, obviously you want to account for our fees, and it's cost effective. But you can literally open it up with $100 or $500, whatever works for you. I tell people it doesn't matter how much you start with, just get started.
Yeah.
And then finally, step 3 is, start investing. Hey, do you want to buy a note? Go learn from the Note Assistance Program how to properly do it, and then go out and partner and buy that note, or whatever it is that you have an interest in.
Wonderful. I know when I was attending a lot of our NAP events or hosting a lot of our NAP events that you would pop in occasionally to some of them, like our lunch and learns and different things. So do you have any NAP events virtually or in person that you on the horizon that you are planning on attending that people might be able to talk to you about?
I'm hoping to get you out to our Inner Circle Mastermind, which is in Fallbrook.
Yes, that was, I think we were planning on doing that, but of course, unfortunately, the pandemic happened at the time, and everything shut down and got delayed. But I'm looking forward to attending that Inner Circle at some point. But I am signed up, and I'll double check for a virtual note lab. I think it's the end of the month. So yes, it's always good to kind of stop by and show face, and obviously engage and interact with the notices.
We love having you. You're always putting in some good expertise and showing that level of confidence. It's so funny when I'm up there telling people everything they can do. I definitely need people in the audience like you or Natosha thereby, so you can just give them a nod. It's true. Because after a while, Jasmine, is this just only something Jasmine can do? So very excited to have your support out there. Where can we find you? Is there a calendar and where you're going to be found, other than our events?
So if you go to AdvantaIRA.com, check out our events page. I, along with my colleagues, host a lot of different events in terms of, just networking, but also too, again, if you want to schedule a consultation, do a deeper dive, talk through your exact scenario. I can't give you advice, but I can kind of give you, inform you on what the rules are to help you make an informed decision. But you can reach out, go to AdvantaIRA.com, schedule a consultation with me. Also, too, you can reach out to me directly via email. My email is a mouthful because it's my first and last name, Reneika.Lightbourne@AdvantaIRA.com. Or your listeners or audience can certainly call me directly at 678-513-8913. That's 678-513-8913.
And what we're going to do is, as always, make sure that we have a quick synopsis of you and all your information at the bottom of the podcast, so that when it's broadcast, if you're listening to this, all you're going to have to do is exit and look at the bottom of the screen. You have all of her contact information, because we really feel that it's very necessary that you get yourself positioned correctly before you do take that leap into note investing.
And this is the one question I always like to ask people as they're getting off, but is there one piece of advice, especially for you being a fellow investor, but someone who also, believes in the retirement account, and I'm sure the tax benefits and all the other advantages that you could have, but is there one piece of advice you would give somebody that's brand new to investing, who's thinking about jumping into notes or starting an IRA that might be beneficial to them, that would help them?
Just get educated. You can do that by calling us, scheduling a consultation. Me personally, I did my due diligence before I opened my retirement account with Advanta. It took me 6 months because I was doing my due diligence. I was asking questions. So I tell clients at Advanta, we're not rushing you. Obviously, we want to have you as a client. We want to be able to work with you and serve you. But however long it takes, if I need to get on the call with you day after day, month after month, to talk through your questions or kind of, in a sense, spoon feed, I'm happy to do that. My day is pretty diverse in that I can talk to a brand new person where this is a brand new concept and I really have to, feed them like a baby, or I can get on the phone where I'm talking to an attorney or a CPA and I got to know every fine detail about an IRS, guideline. So it's just, that flexibility. So just give us a call, get started. We'll talk through your scenario and see what's the best option for you.
I like what you said earlier, which was whatever you do, just get started. That's one of the most powerful things. And she gave you a great way to get started. For us, one of the things I would like to parlay this into is not only get started, but get started with the right person. It's so important for us to give you referrals that will allow you to make money, and always like to say, and go to heaven. And so this is a woman who I believe is doing right by people, and I highly recommend you giving her a call.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I joined Advanta, was just, great synergy, but it was it's a great company, great people. And obviously I get to do what I love. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Reneika, and for all the wonderful information. I'm sure you're going to get lots of people giving you calls after this, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, ladies. It was absolutely a pleasure.
Enjoy.
All right, guys. Hopefully you found that very beneficial and helpful. Thank you for joining us for season 7. As always, make sure to like us on Facebook and YouTube. If you liked this episode, which I'm sure you did, please write us a review and share it with your friends. For all current events, check out our page on meetup.com. Until next time.
See you later. Thank you.